Hi guys, it's Lisa Cummins here from Euphoric Food Cafe. I'm sitting out in the restaurant this afternoon shooting this video for you. I've been waiting patiently for everyone to head home for the day and for the staff to get going too, so that I can bring it to you from here. A little bit of a change of scenery to normal. This week I really I've been doing a lot of thinking about the different videos that I want to bring to you, and one of the things that people keep telling me that they want from me is recipes. And you know, I've been thinking about it a lot, and you know, there are so many recipes out there. We go to the supermarket and we get books with recipes. We can Google any ingredient at any time, any celebrity chef we want, and we can get their recipes. And you know, even our shelves at home are full of, you know, beautiful recipe books. And I love recipe books. They're so inspiring. They're so visual. You know, to think that someone's put their heart and soul into putting those, not only the ingredients and everything together, but also the pictures and everything, is just, you know, absolutely inspiring to me. And I would love to do a recipe book of sorts, you know, one day. But I guess one of the things that I really feel is that cooking with freedom is what actually puts the love back into cooking. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you know, so many of us rely on recipes to create our daily meals for ourselves and our family, and I just think that can create a tremendous amount of pressure. It creates a lot of pressure in terms of making sure that your house is, you know, chock-a-block full of ingredients. We've all had the experience where we've wanted to do a recipe and gone out and bought all the ingredients and then ended up with a pantry full of stuff we used once 2 years ago and never used again. And you know, I'm sure that's a pretty common occurrence for everyone, including me. And I guess I just really wanted to be able to give you guys tips so that you don't need a recipe, that you can simply be inspired by a recipe, but that you don't need to follow it to the letter. Or you can watch Jamie Oliver or Nigella or Gordon Ramsay or whoever, you know, you can watch My Kitchen Rules or MasterChef and go, you know what they're doing there really inspires me. I'm going to take some of those flavor ideas and make it my own. And just talking to people around the cafe, you know, day to day, even, you know, the rest of the team and stuff, it made me realize that a lot of people just don't have the confidence to cook that way. And I think it is the way that our family, like our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents, I think that's how we used to cook. But I think now today, with recipes being so available all the time, you know, they've put a lot of pressure on us. So I really wanted to be able to give you some tips each week that will help you to cook with confidence. And one of the ways I really feel you know, can achieve that is a post that I did a couple of weeks ago, you know, with sources of protein. So, you know, chicken, fish, beef, lamb, and some herb combinations that go really well with those proteins. And also, you know, different cooking methods that you can do. So you can do a beautiful piece of whiting with some dill and some lemon and some garlic. And what I quite often do is, and this is something I'll probably end up touching on next week because I can feel this video already getting a little bit long, is foil packets or using baking paper. And, you know, popping, you know, your fish, your, you know, the herbs that you've selected, a little bit of olive oil or butter if you like, you know, wrapping that up, popping that in your oven or your barbecue, go off, do what you need to do, come back and open it up, and you've got a beautiful, you know, you've got your fish beautifully cooked and poached. It doesn't take long. Your herbs have added tremendous, beautiful flavour, and the olive oil or butter have created a bit of a sauce in there. And you know, there are so many variations of that you can do. I'll put a link to the post that I did below here so that you can have a look and get inspired by those flavor combinations. But if you know, there's really basic combinations of flavor that I think work incredibly well, and if you can learn them and know them sort of off by heart and feel really confident with them, then you're never going to need a recipe again. And it means less waste and less leftovers as well, because you're going to feel, you know, confident to open your fridge and go, okay, I've got chicken, I've got ginger, I've got coriander, I've got some noodles in the cupboard. I'm going to put together a really beautiful stir fry with some soy sauce, and there's your meal. You haven't had to go to the supermarket, you haven't had to spend any extra money, you have utilized ingredients that you have already in your home, that you've already paid money for and that you want to make sure you use and don't throw out on bin night. And you haven't had to, you know, look up, and even the process of just following a recipe, like, you know, that's one of the things I find really stressful about baking, is that you obviously have to follow those recipes, you know, to the letter. It's a science, you know, baking is a science, and that's really important. But because I'm only a cook, I'm not a chef, you know, I'm not trained. You know, the reason that I do the cafe and I'm passionate about food and cooking is because it's something that I love, it's something that I understand, it's something that I really enjoy, and therefore that gives me freedom to be able to experiment, but, you know, safely experiment, where you know you're going to get to the end of that cooking process and know that the food that you've created is going to be delicious and appreciated by everybody eating it. So I will link to that post below. I feel like it will be really tremendously important to you, and it will really set you free. You know, I see recipes as something that we can use mostly as inspiration, but, you know, I never want people to feel locked down. You know, even I've written so many recipes. They're on the blog. They're there. You know, feel free to go through and have a look. But, you know, I would love to have people, you know, using those recipes as inspiration and putting their own spin and their own love into it. So I'm going to think of more and more ways to help inspire you in that way. And if you've got any questions or ideas for how we can make that happen and how we can, you know, learn together, I'd really, you know, look forward to, you know, to hearing that. And, you know, please comment below and start the conversation and, you know, inspire the whole Euphoric community with your ideas and your flavour combinations that you feel work really well for you. And you know, we'll all be cooking more freely and using up, you know, our ingredients and you know, not having a fridge or a pantry full of, you know, oddball ingredients that we're probably never going to use again. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that you found these tips useful this week. As I said, if you've got questions or anything like that, please post them below. I really love hearing from you, and that's one of the things that's been, you know, spurring me on with these videos, is the conversations that they've generated, whether it's online or in the cafe. Just, you know, your feedback absolutely means the world to me, and it's really spurred me on to keep going and keep making more videos. And it's just so encouraging to hear that, you know, you're enjoying them and finding them useful and putting, you know, the tips to work in your own kitchen at home. Anyway, I will let you get back to whatever you were doing. I'm about to head off and do some shopping and banking and all the fun stuff, and then head home and hopefully cook a delicious meal for Maddie and I, and settle in for the night. But you know, we'll see you next week. You can also sign up for our newsletter that comes out every week. It's got our take-home meals menu. It'll have a link to the different videos that we do each week. There'll be some recipe inspiration as well. As I said, I still love recipes, so that will be there for you as well. And, you know, hopefully you play around with them and do your own thing with them as well. And yeah, just, you know, one of the things that people are saying to me as well is that they're not always seeing these videos, and, you know, Facebook can be a little bit like that. So if you want to jump on that, send me your email address via a private message on Facebook or an email or through the website or however you find best to communicate, and I'll pop you on the mailing list. And I promise you that, you know, we want to add value to what you're doing and what you're cooking every single day. So we want to make it as interesting as possible, and let me know what you want, because you know, I'm just loving these conversations that we're having together. Okay guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye.